Hi guys, welcome to the Astro Dude. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the B-29 Superfortress aircraft, which was used in World War II. So the B-29 started development in 1940 as a result of the Axis powers invading land in the Pacific Ocean, which was a big threat to the United States because it had territories in the Pacific Ocean, such as Guam, the Philippines, and Hawaii. The B-29 was the most expensive program in World War II, at $43 billion in today's money. In comparison, the Manhattan Project cost about $23 billion in today's money. The B-29 was reserved for use in the Pacific Theater because it was the only plane that could cross the Pacific Ocean with a range of about 5,600 miles. The B-29 was used to end the Second World War and was the first aircraft to use nuclear weaponry rather than conventional weapons that release the energy that is stored in chemical bonds. Nuclear weapons convert mass into energy. The equation E equals mc squared shows that only a small amount of mass can equal an unimaginable amount of energy. The nuclear weapons that were used by the B-29 used a nuclear fission reaction, which fires neutrons at heavy isotopes that are atomically unstable, which causes the atoms to split, resulting in about 0.1% of the energy getting converted into mass. Only 700 milligrams of mass were converted into energy on the Little Boy atomic bomb, which used enriched uranium-234 as a nuclear fuel and released the energy equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT. And the B-29, of course, was used to carry the Little Boy atomic bomb. So, guys, now I'm going to show you a recording that I made of the B-29. Enjoy, and I'll be back to talk more about the B-29. Okay, guys, so I'm back. I hope you liked the recording, and now I'm going to talk more about the B-29. So, as you noticed in the video, the B-29 is a very large aircraft, and it also has very powerful engines. So, the wingspan of the B-29 was 141 feet. The length was 99 feet, and it was also 27 feet tall. It also weighed 133,500 pounds, unloaded. So, also, as you noticed in the video, it had many turrets. So it had 8 50 cal machine guns that were remote controlled turrets, and one 20 millimeter cannon in the tail. Now, this was a huge, groundbreaking, state-of-the-art technology, remote controlled turrets, and it used a vacuum tube computer to control all these turrets and assist in its operations, which at the time vacuum tube computers for World War II were groundbreaking, especially to have it in an aircraft that was very state-of-the-art for the time. It was able to achieve a high altitude of 33,600 feet, and this made it so that it was very hard for air defenses at the time on the ground to shoot down the B-29. How it was able to achieve this high altitude for the time was by 4 powerful 2200 horsepower engines called the Wright R3350s, and also it's a large wingspan of 141 feet. So the Wright R3350s had 2200 horsepower, as I said, And it achieved this high horsepower by having 18 cylinders in its piston engine, and also having 2 powerful superchargers, which work by taking in the exhaust and adding more mechanical energy in from the exhaust released. And with those powerful engines, able to achieve a maximum speed of 357 feet. It wasn't just the engines that allowed it to achieve this high speed, though. It was also the aerodynamics of the B-29. As you notice in the video that I showed you, that I made, the B-29 is sort of shaped like a raindrop if you look at it from the side. And if you didn't know, a raindrop is the most aerodynamic shape. So this made the B-29 aerodynamic, which also helped to achieve this high speed. At this speed, it could outspeed the Mitsubishi A6M0 fighter plane, which also made it even harder to shoot out of the sky. And so yeah, that's the B-29. Also, another thing that's groundbreaking about the B-29 is that it used pressurized cabins rather than other bombers such as the B-17, which the crew had to wear oxygen masks and heavy clothing because of the cold temperatures at those altitudes. But the B-29 didn't need that because it was pressurized cabin, and this was a big advantage because it meant less crew preparations, meaning the B-29 could get off the ground faster, and also allowed the crew to be more comfortable so they could focus on the mission that they were doing. As you notice, the B-29's cockpit looks very familiar, and this is because the B-29's cockpit was so cool looking that it was used. The cockpit of the Millennium Falcon in George Lucas's film Star Wars was based off of the B-29 cockpit. That's why it looks very familiar to a lot of you guys. And as you can see, the B-29's cockpit is very cool looking. And also allowed you to, it had many windows around it so you could see what's going on around you. So yeah, it was a very well engineered aircraft overall. So that's it for this video. Please leave a like. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any opinions on this video, please comment on it. And I'll be continuing releasing more videos in the future. And yeah, goodbye. See you later, and I hope you have a great day.
B-29.